Loans, they can become a lifeline for businesses, but they can also become chains that bind you. Throughout my 30 years at Chams, I learned some hard lessons about borrowing money. And today, if I could go back, I will avoid loans as much as possible. In the early days, Chams faced what many businesses do: scarce resources and urgent needs. We had more orders than we could fulfill. And without enough money, we turned to loans. It seemed like the right move at the time. But what I did not realize was how easily loans can make you lazy. Over the years, it became too easy. Banks trusted us. At one point, I secured a 500 million overdraft with just a short note behind my business card. But looking back, I asked myself, were these loans really necessary? The truth is, most of them were not. Loans can quickly spiral out of control. One of our subsidiaries, Rapid Funds, took an 11 million naira loan, and within a few months, that debt ballooned to 23 million. It was a painful lesson, one that repeated itself many times in our journey. When we were awarded the National ID Card project in 2007, we went big. We raised 8.4 billion on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, and the plan was to build 29 charm cities at 1.2 billion each. It was a bold investment, one that even got us into the Guinness Book of World Records. But then the project stalled. We borrowed more for working capital, another 2 billion naira, and suddenly we found ourselves in deep trouble when the federal government delayed and then reneged the already implemented project. When the financial crisis hit in 2009, banks started calling in their loans, and we were forced to sell assets, our buildings, our landed properties, just to stay afloat. By 2011, even our head office was at risk. We had borrowed short for long-term projects. A massive mismatch. It almost led us to bankruptcy. If he had avoided loans, or at least limited them, things would have been different. You were so eager to deliver that you borrowed without thinking through the long-term consequences. We didn't need to build everything at once. We could have taken it in stages, but instead, we took on too much, too fast. For more than 8 years, we worked for the banks, paying exorbitant interest rates. Loans became a mystery, and I think at one point, it felt like we were just working to repay loans with little to show for it. To any entrepreneur considering taking a loan, my advice is simple. Think carefully. Think carefully. Ask yourself, is this loan a necessity or is it just satisfying a want? It is not just about securing the loan. It is about the repayment. Repayments will deplete your cash if the loan did not add value to your business. And in business, cash is king. Loans can seem a solution, but they can also be a trap. If you can, avoid them. And if you must take one, make sure it's truly necessary and that you have a clear plan to repay. In reality, the freedom of operating without debt is worth far more than the temporary relief of it. Because in the end, a business should work for itself, not for the banks. To recap the lesson about loans, remember these key nuggets. Number one, loans can be lifelines or chains. Choose wisely. In business, cash is king. Don't let debt dethrone you. A loan may solve today's problems, but if mismanaged, it will create tomorrow's crisis. Borrowing short for long-term project is a recipe for disaster. The freedom of operating debt-free is worth far more than the temporary relief a loan brings. Thank you for joining me today. Stay tuned for next video where we will explore more lessons from my journey at Chams PLC. God bless you.